Some pretty big changes to the forecast after morning weather model data did a loop-de-loop. Let's talk about it in this afternoon update of the Texas Weather Roundup. All right, good afternoon. I'm Texas Storm Chaser's Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. It is the 7th of January 2025, an afternoon update on the potential for winter weather coming into Texas, technically beginning tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon in the borderland far west Texas through the Trans-Pecos, spreading east in the form of rain, sleet, snow, freezing rain across Texas Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, and continuing through about lunchtime on Friday. Now this morning, after we made the video, we had the morning weather model data come in, and a majority of it actually pulled a pretty impressive feat that we don't see too often nowadays, and that was a completely new solution for the system coming in on, well, tomorrow and Thursday. It would have required massive changes to the forecast, and it would not have been pretty. We alluded to that in this morning's social media updates. But as some of the afternoon data has started to come in, the European weather model, one of the last models to come in from this morning, along with some of the new afternoon runs of the models, we're starting to come back towards a middle ground. We had, one extreme which showed, a foot of snow or something in DFW. We had another extreme that came in this morning that showed really hardly any snow in Texas, maybe an inch along the Red River in northeast Texas. And now I think we're starting to kind of gravitate back towards the middle. But the reason we had that occur, and if we have to do major forecast shifts down the road, is we're dealing with really two systems here. One, we've talked about, alluded to it the past several days, an upper level low near Baja California. But a second smaller piece of energy is expected to introduce itself into this mix, and it's a quick moving storm system coming out of the northern plains of the United States. When that system moving south, southeast, tomorrow into Thursday, interacts with the storm system coming out of Baja California over our part of the world, we generally have expected them to what we call phase up, and that would help amplify the energy, allow for additional precipitation farther north than the main, heavy rain down across the southeastern half of the state, and that is what has allowed us to introduce snow chances, and that is what a majority of weather models and their ensembles, so over 100 pieces of weather model data, generally have supported over the last few days. Well, this morning's weather model suite decided to throw that all away. It decided the upper level system coming out of the northern plains wasn't going to interact with the system coming out of Baja. It was just going to try to smack the heck out of it and essentially shunt its energy away, which would have resulted in still rain chances across the southeastern half of the state, but hardly any precipitation back in the cold sector where snow. So that would have required a massive revision to the forecast had some other data not come in, and some of the data this afternoon starting to kind of move back towards that middle ground. So if we do have to gravitate towards the what I would call the warmer, drier solution, we're going to have to just throw the forecast in the trash can. But we're not there yet. We were there about 2 hours ago, but the data since then is starting to kind of bring things back towards the middle ground. So let's go ahead and take a look at the North American model. This is the one that just came in. This model is one that showed, with its morning run earlier this morning, showed, hardly any snow, any winter mix at all, just rain. And then, a dry across the northwestern half of Texas, Oklahoma. This is the brand new afternoon run, for those of you meteorologically inclined or weather nerdy, the 18 Zulu North American model. This brought back the solutions we've been seeing the last couple of days, so we're going to stick with this for now. We're going to make some adjustments to the forecast. A couple things to note here are we have trended a bit warmer, which is going to reduce the chance of freezing precipitation and more significant impacts in the hill country, central Texas, the Brazos Valley, and most of East Texas. Now, it is worth noting this model actually did bring that back down to the hill country with this run, but we're not there yet. To be completely honest with you, we're not buying that drastic shift back to cold yet. Could it happen? Sure. I mean, a lot of things can happen in meteorological mumbo-jumbo land, but at this point, we're going to generally stick with rain, maybe a little bit of sleet and freezing rain initially in central Texas, the Brazos Valley, quickly transitioning to pure rain as the freezing line moves north into North Texas, Northeast Texas. Generally speaking, it now looks like the best chance for accumulating snow will be Texoma, northern portions of the DFW Metroplex, North Texas, along north of Interstate 20, into Northeast Texas, Southeastern Oklahoma. This model run had hardly anything back in the big country Northwest Texas, the Panhandle, West Texas, and Oklahoma with this morning's run. It brought that back this run. So, we continue to expect precipitation, perhaps in the form of frozen precipitation, to increase late Thursday morning, mid to late Thursday morning, across the big country, the Concho Valley, maybe parts of the hill country, Northwest Texas, North Texas, Texoma, Northeast Texas, with the rain snow line by late afternoon quickly moving back north towards Interstate 20. In the big country, North Texas, Northeast Texas. In Northeast Texas, it may actually shunt north towards Interstate 30, northeast of Dallas, up towards Texarkana, or somewhere thereabouts in between. With rain to the south, and heavy rain at times. It's actually going to be a pretty good soaker. We may even have some thunderstorms, nothing severe. But as we go into Thursday night, into Friday morning, snow will continue, it looks like. Big country, Texoma, North Texas, Northeast Texas. Generally along and north of Interstate 20, and Interstate 30. Now, we're still outside of 48 hours for a decent part of this. The 18 Zulu models go, the super high-res ones go out 48 hours. That's noon Thursday. So we've still got to go. I mean, we're still not in the super high-res land. So things are going to change. And I just hope they're not as significant as we thought they were going to be a couple hours ago. But for now, what we're thinking is all this will continue Thursday. We could have some travel difficulties, if not hazardous travel. Panhandle, West Texas, Northwest Texas, the big country, parts of the Permian Basin, Trans-Pecos, Borderland. Borderland and Trans-Pecos technically tomorrow afternoon through probably Thursday morning. Then precip moves east of there into the rest of the state. So, then it all moves out Friday morning, hopefully by lunchtime. So what does that mean in terms of impacts? Well, let's look at the forecast accumulation maps now. Now, this has reflected a warmer trend and a shift north overall with the freezing line, meaning you can see the ice totals we were forecasting down in parts of the hill country, central Texas earlier. We've pushed those north or pulled them north back into North Texas and Northeast Texas. We could see maybe a trace to a tenth of an inch of freezing rain ice accumulations, which would cause slicky, doom galore. Now, again, if things trend a bit colder, we're going to have to bring this back into the hill country, central Texas, Brazos Valley, and we'd have issues for Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon. But for now, things have trended warmer. Now, here's the snow forecast. We have made changes to this. We've pulled the heaviest snow totals back into Texoma and far northeast Texas. Notice those of you in the big country, the Concho Valley, we're generally looking at 1 to 3 inches of snow. Some of you may see less than an inch or nothing at all. Some of you could see closer to 3 to 4 inches. Panhandle, West Texas, you could see generally 1 to 2 inches, some a little less, some maybe closer to 3 inches. El Paso and the borderland through the Davis-Guadalupe Mountains, the Trans-Pecos, generally 1/2 inch to 3 inches of snow. Heavier snow totals in the higher elevations up in the mountains. You can see at this point maybe a dusting across along a line from Shreveport to Tyler to Waco, all the way back towards Junction on Interstate 10. So, at this point, that sharp cutoff line here, and it's probably going to be even sharper than what this map shows on the south end. We may go from just rain to maybe 2 inches of snow over a 20-mile span, is set up right over I-20 and DFW. And again, if we trend warmer and drier, we're going to have to cut these down. But if we continue kind of balanced in the middle here, this is a pretty good even ground for now. There's a chance if we go colder or wetter, like some data indicates, we may have to bump totals up in Texoma, Northeast Texas a bit. But, we're not going to make any rash forecast changes here. One model suite for, one run may show something, and then the next run, like we just described, goes back to the old solution. So we're not doing any sort of whiplash forecast solutions or forecasts here. But the general consensus is a bit warmer on Thursday, which is why the rain snow line's been pulled a bit north. Snow totals have come down a bit. But we're still expecting a band of heavier snow to likely develop across portions of Texoma, far northeast Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, maybe back into more of North Texas, DFW, and the Big Country. We'll know more about this as we get into tomorrow and the high-res data, and we're able to analyze more of the mesoscale small sector type features, and we can see where we may see some banding. Vice versa, if the drier solutions verify, Panhandle, West Texas, down to the Permian Basin, we may not see much at all. But again, let's just go through another model cycle. We'll get data in this evening. We'll start to have a pretty good idea, probably by 9 o'clock, of if we're going to be sticking with this solution, we're going to need to go drier and warmer, or if things are actually going to trend back towards the wetter, colder solution. So the 12 Zulu cycle, the morning data suggested drier, warmer. Getting into this afternoon, we're kind of trending back towards wetter, a little colder. So let's see what this evening's data does. And again, for most of us, this is not going to start until Thursday morning through Friday morning. Borderland, far west Texas, Trans-Pecos, maybe parts of the Permian Basin tomorrow, Wednesday, late morning through Thursday morning, with some winter precipitation. So that is the latest. I realize for some of you, you're probably not real happy, but truthfully, I was going to come on here. If we had done this 2 hours ago, that snowfall map I just showed you probably would have had maybe half of what it does now. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Sometimes Mother Nature throws us surprises. And like I said in this morning's video, we're typically for Texas winter weather events, we're expecting surprises within 24 hours. Outside of 24 hours, it's, a crapshoot. So long-range weather model ensemble data may have showed a super favorable setup, but that does not mean it can't all go into the dumpster, 2 days out. And that's what it tried to do this morning, but it's recovered a bit this afternoon, which is why we don't post raw weather model snow graphics that show snow totals typically, because guess what? Weather models typically aren't completely right, especially when dealing with snow down here in the southern United States. So take that as what you may. Definitely not feeling super bad for being on the conservative/steady state path because, well, we have a little experience dealing with winter weather in Texas. It's only been 16 years. Yeah, so that is going to be it for this afternoon update. Again, a little warmer, so that kind of gives some breathing room for the hill country, central Texas, the Brazos Valley. More rain, less ice, and then rain snow line closer to I-20 now for most of the event. Big country, Permian Basin, North Texas, and then up I-30 for northeast Texas. But again, we're still 48 to 60, even in some cases 72 hours out from the beginning and end of this. So things will change, I can promise you that. I am more certain than ever we're going to have changes in the forecast, whether or not we end up going colder or if things just go completely in the dumpster and we throw the snow map out and say, hey, you're going to see some snow flurries. Trust me, if that happens, I fully expect everyone in the weather enterprise is going to get hit with eggs, myself included. And I'd accept blame for that because it would be a huge forecast bust, so we'll see. If it makes you feel better, I already changed my plans for Friday, Saturday, too, and it cost me $600 because I have to fly to a weather conference, and I didn't wait for the travel waivers, so yay. That being said, we'll have another update. Not sure if we're going to do a video tonight. We'll see. But we'll at least get updated simulated radar images out and updated snow information. If we have a big change, we'll probably put another video out, and who knows, meteorologist Jason Cooley will probably smack me on the head with a mallet and be like, video now. If we do that, that'll be closer to probably 9 p.m. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you for all of y'all who've been tuning in the last few days. It really has been absurd watching the analytics. We're appreciative, even if most of you watching this video are probably going to want to hit me with chips or eggs, but it is what it is. So thank you to those who've been subscribing to us for the Texas weather information, good, bad, or whatnot. Hey, we appreciate it. And of course, we appreciate everyone who's been hitting that thumbs up button. It really does help with the algorithm. All right, we'll be back here probably 9 o'clock-ish to 10 Central with another update, hopefully a short one, and we'll talk to you then. Y'all have a good rest of the afternoon. Safe drive home. Good evening.